Uh, it's obvious what needs to happen on this plane for you know, for there to be any kind of improvement on the earth with the condition of the human life. Right now we have Neptune squaring Mars, and to me it means that narcissism is illuminating through communications big danger of everything being used against us as far as that how that's the way it can be. I'm here to tell you, you guys, it's time to disconnect from the narcissistic society. That's where I am. I find myself, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, this is really trippy. We're being trampled by these big babies that they're so ultra sensitive, and they haven't sat down, we haven't sat down and talked to them yet about how they're not expressing their feelings as much as they really should in order to stay healthy, especially about what they're feeling in general, like what is their insecurity around people, work through it. Is it really happening? Is there a way we can change how people are feeling about themselves? If it's a handicap, narcissism comes from some kind of deficit. Some people, their inner geometry is off or something going on with their neurology, but then yes, it could be a handicap that sends people into this manipulative state and also kind of disrespectful. They're trying to use you to get something, and it's all just about them, But there's so much more to the dynamic of the mind where it assumes this thing that goes on. Um, I don't even know if it's narcissism or not. It's just like the incapacity to understand the difference between the mind and reality. Like the narcissist in general is known to just interact with an ideal of somebody, the ideal. Like they call it a snapshot. And I think this is way before Facebook came around, but psychologists call that snapshot. It's something that it's a phenomenon inside the narcissist's mind. And then they try to feed you the snapshot. Anyway, it's just really complicating. If you're not interested in any human relationships, if you're not really, which most narcissists aren't, they're interested in getting attention through whatever means it is, and usually, of course, it's from humans. I'm talking like this, well, they're really tiptoeing around a lot of stuff. They're really frightened children, and they just need attention. And human beings, they're going to use to get that attention. They have to, right? I mean, where's the attention coming from? It's not from themselves, They even though they need to give themselves enough attention to see patterning and to start gaining a sense of self-value. But God, this is such a big subject matter. Like I said, bringing astrology back into the subject matter, Mars is something you look at, and in society, I'm sure it's flaring up. Mars and Gemini, it's time to communicate, but it's squaring Neptune now, and tells me that the narcissistic tendency is starting to billow out. I bet you anything in deception through the communications that needs to be done, and it's stuff that I'm doing here that every bit of it could be used against me. I can hear myself talking. It's like, wow, Shauna, you're looking really great doing that. It's like, you know what? Barrel through it. Just document it down, innocently, really. The real fight and the real testimony that we have against narcissists is what happened in reality in association with who it is you think I am, and everything in reality, really, like, because they can, they're listening to TV, and based on that, all of the flu is COVID-19, and they're beginning to dial in on, oh, it's a fight against, there's something out there to get, yeah, and did you know all of the diseases are man-made, all of them. If you're getting smarter and more buoyant and using your fucking mind and the computer right, um, you're thinking on your own more and more, and you're realizing, oh shit, no, really, only a few people like me, and then there are the higher ups who's causing all the illnesses, know that there doesn't need to be cancer here. There doesn't need to even be a head cold here. There doesn't need to be any kind of unnecessary suffering here. There's a few people on this plane, including me, that they just have a lot of money and they're causing all of the fucking deception. I'm not into it. I'm trying to wake people up here. I'm like, oh my God, there's only so much time. And Jesus said something like, eat and drink of me now. Let's get into the Mars Neptune square thing. Yeah, now we're going to, really, I mean, fuck Neptune and Pisces, At least it's a righteous Neptune, and so it is with the Mars and Gemini. And I would like to be wrong. I would like to say, oh, it's a really spiritual aspect, and I do see it as spiritual. I mean, what if we could just see it? What if we just see now? Can we see how desperate the non-self-reflecting narcissist can get and has gotten? And it's like, this is what books are wrote on, like the horrific romances that just go so sour that somebody's boiling somebody in the back with a fucking crock pot. I don't know, but it's happening. It's out there. And I have yet to put here, I'll put some information right here about the Mars square Neptune. If it was any use to anybody listening to this, I am going to refine my subject matter, which is um, I'm quite the scientist, actually. I kind of involve a lot of things. Astrology, I'm saying, and so will a lot of real life astrologers, is the only real science, and I say it's an esoteric symbology. It's the only real science that points at all other known possible sciences known to man. Anything and everything you can possibly think of. Astrology is here to point at it. And that is why that they have to reintroduce astrology in order for mankind to have any kind of like foothold on a common sense that they are involved with. And that is reality that contains the holy truth. When they took astrology away, now it's not that you're disconnected from that realm, it's here. But you have no language now. You have no symbology. You have nothing esoteric science-wise. You have nothing to work with. They have crippled you. They took the tools away. It's hard to explain because astrology doesn't create all of that. Astrology is pointing at influences. It says, oh, yeah, excuse me, but we're all connected. And this is where we are. This is a natural process that we're going through, and it is like Mother Nature out there. Astrology points at the whole process. And it's an experience that you're having if you pay attention, and you become a really good astrologer if you're just paying attention. That's it. That's why I became an astrologer. That's because I have an aspect of just my mind is apt to pay attention more to the truth rather than just my mind. Is a way to use your mind and not have the mind use you.